So to the person who wants me to react to the Polar Express video, I'm happy to do it. I just need you to leave a link in the comments so that I can find the video and react to the video you want me to. So if there's a video you guys want me to react to, leave it in the comments and I will get to it as best I can. Anyways, we're starting with true prom night horror story. So let's go. And sorry if I check my Switch sometimes. I'm downloading a game. Oh, why is it so quiet?
I work as a receptionist at a hotel. And we often hold high school proms here as we have a big hall and a stage. In order to get to the hall, you have to pass the reception desk. It was prom night, and it was already underway.
Okay.
All the students and teachers were in the dance hall. All the pictures had been taken, and the reception area was empty. At some point during the evening, someone approached the reception desk. I looked up to see a tall man standing there. He had a clean-shaven face, and his hair...
See, why am I getting red flags? Just red flags right now.
Hair was greasy and tied back in a ponytail. He was also wearing a suit that was pretty old, and it was also dirty, along with some Adidas shoes. His eyes were wide open, and he said, "I'm here for the prom." At first, I thought he was kidding.
Like, see, as soon as he accidentally said porn, I bet you he was no, just no, I'm not even gonna say no.
But he looked dead serious. He accidentally said porn, then he said prom. I said, are you employed by the school? He said, no, I'm a student here.
Don't listen to him.
I kept thinking he was joking. He looked to be in his late 40s, and he was telling me he was a high school student. So I asked him, how old are you? He said, I'm 17. No, 16. Yeah, 16. At this point, I thought he was on drugs or something. I said, I'm sorry, but you don't look 16 at all. He just stared at me, not saying a word, with his eyes wide, staring right at me. He then leaned over to me and said, I'll make you a deal. I have a big blade in my pocket. If I'm not 16, you can cut my finger off. If I am 16, I can cut your finger off. I didn't get the chance to say anything because he walked out right after he said that.
Oh my goodness.
I told my boss about what happened. He said to let him know if he comes back and he'll deal with it. I finished my shift around 12.
Oh my goodness, I don't like
and then
this.
Went to get in my car. There was an envelope under my windshield.
Call the police, call the police.
Written on it was, a deal is a deal.
Why didn't he call the police? I'm sorry, if someone did that to me, I would have called the police.
I opened the envelope to see a human finger. And I had a feeling that this wasn't his own finger due to it being another color. I never saw that man again. And I always wondered why he was trying to get into that prom.
I'm sorry, no. All right, guys, I'm back. Next one is a terrifying morning jog. So let's see what we got here. This story is told in the perspective of a woman.
Before heading to my local community college for classes, I like to wake up at around 5 in the morning for a brisk morning jog. It helps clear my head and definitely helps wake me up so I can focus in class. When I first started doing this, it was a huge hassle, but over time I grew accustomed to it, and it's now a highlight of my day. However, as time went on, I found myself becoming quite uncomfortable.
Okay, why?
Not in a physical sense, but more so it was like my fight or flight instincts began kicking in seemingly at random. I'd whip my head around to see if anybody was following me or even peeking at me through the wooded park in which I ran, but couldn't see anybody.
Okay.
It didn't help that it was dark either, so even if there was somebody creeping in the dark, there was no way I could tell. As an extra precaution, I started carrying around some pepper spray in order to fend off any would-be attackers. But as time went on and that eerie sensation occurred more and more, I just couldn't bring myself to run anymore. A friend of
Okay.
mine, Daniel, a self-proclaimed runner himself, told me that I shouldn't worry about it. He said that the mind plays tricks on oneself when it can't see things clearly, especially in the dark. After being reassured by him, I decided to give jogging another go. So today, like any other day, I slapped on some black leggings, tied my hair up in a ponytail, put on my kicks, and set my music volume to full blast and headed out the door.
Okay, don't set it
I
to full
felt
blast at
fantastic
night.
at first and was loving the cool breeze and crisp morning air. But then, about halfway into my jog, a tall and hooded figure stepped out onto the path in front of me. Quickly, I pulled out my pepper spray and yelled at the person to leave me alone. The person quickly pulled down their hood, revealing themselves to be Daniel. I sighed with relief as he approached and laughed at how funny it was that we ran the same path. I expressed to him that I felt safer
Sorry,
knowing he
guys.
was around. Daniel, however, stepped a little too close and
Uh-oh.
gave a crooked smile. He said that of course I was safe with him, as apparently I had been safe with him for weeks. The realization of what he meant quickly dawned on me as his hands began to creep their way around my waist. I screamed at him to let me go and prepared to spray him, but he slapped it out of my hand and proceeded to grab my throat. With strained screams, I begged him to let me go and for someone to help me. He yelled at me and tightened his grip, asking why I wasn't thankful for his watchful eyes for the past several weeks. I was stunned at the complete personality change from the once gentle friend I knew. Pretty soon, I started to black out and grow weak. But just before passing out, I could hear the sounds of dogs barking and an older man screaming for Daniel to let me go. In a panic, he released me and ran back into the woods. I gasped for air before I began sobbing as the man escorted me out of the park and brought me straight to the police station. And despite my fears and reservations, I told them everything I knew about Daniel, or what I thought I knew, and what he had done to me. They immediately sent a patrol car out and told me that everything would be okay.
Oh no.
The next day, I heard Daniel never showed up to class. He had been arrested several hours later after I left the police station
Good
and
riddance.
confessed to everything with a disgusting amount of self-righteousness. He was recorded as saying, "She needed me. Only I can protect her. Who knows what could have been hiding in those woods?" It took me a while to feel comfortable going back to school, and even then, my trust in people was never the same again. I guess even the ones you were close to can snap, just like that, at any time.
Okay, that is just really scary. Like, that is just really, really scary. Okay, this last one is called No Rails for Winston, so let's
This is
go.
branch line.
Hank. Stop it, buddy.
He was happy. With Thomas and the other engines being away on Edward's branch line while the line was being upgraded to Jeffrey, he was having the time of his life.
Of course he was.
But as he approached a level crossing, he was surprised to see that the gates were closed.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on? There are no engines here. Just then, George the steamroller came up behind him.
George.
Oi, I need to get through.
Okay, perfect.
I need to get through too. But these gates are shut. How can they be? Those old kettles are away at Wellsworth. Do you think I don't know that? Retorted Bulgy. These gates are shut. What's going on? Suddenly they heard a horn.
It's Winston.
It was Winston carrying the fat controller. Bulgy and George were bewildered at the sight of him. Winston was inspecting the Farquhar branch line for the
stop.
fat controller as the upgrades had now just been finished. Bulgy and George continued on with their day in silence.
Tell me they're not
still
gonna be-
flabbergasted with the sight they both saw.
Yeah, it's a car on rails. Is this an intro? Okay, I'm skipping the intro because I don't want to get in trouble with
Bertie,
copyright
look.
claim.
He's a vehicle on rails. Not just any vehicle, a road vehicle. A car.
Oh, that's Winston, replied Bertie, who overheard the conversation. He's the railway's track inspection car that came from the mainland years ago. Sometime after your incident with the bridge bulgy. And sometime before you caused all that trouble to Thomas and Gordon those years ago, George. Anyway, you'll find he's a nice chap. And Bertie rolled away to collect more passengers along Thomas's branch line. But Bulgy and George were cross.
A vehicle specifically designed for roads is working for the railway. That is traitorous to all road vehicles. A spit of oil to the face. We must get Winston onto our side. Indeed,
agreed George. So, all day long,
Hank,
George and
stop
Bulgy
it.
went to talk to Winston whenever they saw him.
hello there, friend.
Oh,
I'm
no!
I want to talk to you about roads and how they are better than railways.
But
The reason why our roads are much better and more reliable than railways are because we have the freedom to do everything. No timetable to keep, and we can go as fast as we can without any speed limits.
Hank!
But you don't want to work on the railway. They
Oh.
denounce all the good things about roads. Why, this place used to be a road itself. And then the railway took it all over for their own needs without understanding our needs.
and Bulgy started to weep.
I remember the day very well when the railway invaded.
Oh my goodness, Bulgy, you don't care!
Ruined.
You don't care! You're just trying to get him to put him on your side!
And when I rebelled against those blasted machines, they just threw me away in a chicken field. So what do you
Oh
say?
my goodness,
Would you join us
shut
to free
up!
the roads?
What on earth are you talking about? I remember seeing you in that field whenever I went to the Little Weston, and I heard all about your dilemma with the bridge from Duck and Oliver. Seems to me that you still like talking whoppers, despite what you said to that journalist last year, eh?
Me? Talking whoppers? How could you
Hey,
say such
stop
a thing?
it.
Bulgy growled. I say, those tears you pulled were rather great. Perhaps you should be an actor instead.
Oh, what cheek! I'll have you know, thank you, Bulgy. I suggest you stop talking a load of cobblers and collect your passengers now. On your way, and no more lies about my railway. Oh, but... Yes, sir.
I never
He
liked
sighed
Bulgy.
and rolled away.
Bulgy was so annoying and he was so mean. He's so mean.
Later, it was George's turn.
Oh no, what's George gonna do? Oh dear.
Oi, you, red thing! Join the Anti-Railway League now!
He said forcefully. No, replied Winston bluntly.
Why not?
Because I was built to inspect track. My wheels aren't like your wheels.
That's rubbish. You're a car designed for and only for roads. That's enough, George. You don't want me to ask your new owner to take away your roller again now, do you?
George gulped, and he went on his way.
Ah. Sir Top Matt's got him covered. I'm proud of Winston.
The two vehicles met up with each other, both feeling rather defeated.
What are we going to do now?
Then Bulgy had an idea.
Oh no.
There's only one thing we can do. Follow me.
He said. Later, Winston was resting in a siding near Maithwaite, while the Fat Controller was discussing things with the station master. He was thinking about Bulgy and George. Oh, those two, they are alike. Simply talking whoppers. I don't see a problem with both rail and road coexisting with each other. They're both equally important.
What is he gonna do?
Right. You know what to do.
What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? They're not gonna hurt him, are they? What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? What is he gonna do?
Right.
Hey! Shouted Bulgy. Winston woke up in horror, and then he felt himself being pulled by George.
What the
are you
heck?
doing? He cried.
If you're not willing to join, then we'll force you.
George tugged and pulled and tugged, while poor Winston could only shout for help. Help! Help! The shouting and arguing caught
Oh
the
my
attention
goodness,
of the
what are they
controller.
doing?
What's going on?
He cried. But Winston felt himself being dragged onto the
Oh,
road,
no!
and his wheels crunched onto the tarmac. Winston groaned loudly as his steel wheels were making marks along the road.
They're hurting him!
I did it! I did it!
Cheered George.
You're one of us now. No, he's not.
Replied a stern-sounding VAT controller.
Oh,
Soon Miss Jenny and the bus manager arrived, and even they were absolutely fuming. George, I am not happy at all with this kind of behaviour coming from you. May I remind you that your roller was once taken away because of your incident with the pub on Thomas's branch line, You don't want it to be taken away again now, do you? No, Miss Jenny, replied George quietly. Bulgy, you should be going all anti-rail. The railway is going to be here for a long, long, long time, and you just have to deal with it. I thought better of you after what you did last year, but because of your behavior today, instead of sending you to the shed, I will take you off passenger duties and have you bring the workmen to this site, and you will remain here so you can think about what you have done.
Yes, sir.
A few days
just hope
later,
Winston's
Thomas and his
okay.
friends returned from Wellsworth after a long time away.
I just hope Winston isn't hurt. I mean, that must have hurt his wheels.
Everyone came out to see them passing through.
It's good to see them back.
They were very happy to see them again. As they neared Nathwaite, Thomas saw George laying tarmac on the spot where Winston was derailed, while Bulgy waited for the workmen to finish.
Does he not know what happened? Do any of them know what happened?
They arrived at the top station with a sight of people cheering and clapping for them as a welcome home celebration.
I'm glad they're
Winston
home.
was there too, and Thomas asked him about George and Bulgy. Winston chuckled. I'll tell you all about it, he replied, smiling.
His face. He's like, what? Well, I wasn't expecting them to actually pull him off the rail. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next video. This is KBear101 signing out. Adios, everybody.